little bit hot tonight. I can barely see the road from the heat coming on. Reach down between my legs, ease the seat back. She's climbing, I'm flying, right behind it, real me now. Got the feeling, but I was hearing, busy bobbing, ain't no stopping now.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to our show.
Welcome to our movie, eh?
Our cat's very vocal tonight. This week it's only Tuesday.
Yeah.
And this week is already exhausting. Last week was exhausting. Very, very busy. Lots going on. But I do want to say to everyone that I'm super proud of everyone in this movement and the way that we conduct ourselves, whether it be down at the buffer zone in a courthouse or online or whatever. I just think you guys are awesome, and thank you for being who you are and saying what you say, and and just being a productive part of this movement. It's great. So that's what I wanted to say.
Well done. I agree.
Thanks.
I agree.
Also, I want to shout out to our mods and thank you, because it's been rough the past couple days.
Just a couple of weeks.
Weeks.
Gotten,
Yeah. And I also want to shout out to our team, our stream team, our stream dream team.
Mm-hmm.
I kept adding words there. Did you see what I did there?
Just say it again.
Yeah, but say it again. So let's thank Dina, Brandy, Scotty, who will be on later.
Yep.
Kurt,
Hey now.
Dylan, and who am I? Erica.
We don't have to ask.
Miss Erica, who we definitely have to talk about this evening. Hopefully she'll be in the chat, but it's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I think her daughter had a thing tonight. Didn't she have something going on
I
at
don't
school
know.
or something?
I guess her daughter was down at the courthouse today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's really, she got to meet a couple people.
Oh,
and
good.
stuff. Yeah. It's great.
Proud of mom.
Yeah, definitely proud of mom.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
As am I.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
Take no shit.
That's right.
No, that's awesome.
Anyway.
But yeah,
We'll
it's been crazy. It's been it's been a wild ride. It's been a long couple years plus for a lot of people, and it's it's just one of those things that here we are, and the tides are changing, all that stuff. But I look at everything that goes on right now, and I look at this guy, hi Scott. I look at everything that's going on now, and it's very hard. I'm sorry, it's very easy to get caught up in the moment and shit's going on, and to react to certain things. And we're all people. We do what we do. And again, people have made mistakes along the way, and this is, where this has brought us. But we're all different people. Everybody's different. Just because we're all in this for Karen Reed and for a fight against justice and corruption doesn't mean we all necessarily like each other either. It is what it is. I work at my work. I've been there for a long time. There's a lot of fucking people I don't like at my work. I ain't gonna lie.
It's true. I listen to it.
Yeah, I know. So it just, it just goes with the territory. So, but everybody's, good group of people. Everybody just keep fighting the fight.
Yep.
And keep your foot on the gas.
Yep.
You know, things are going to change. Things are changing. I mean, look what's happening in Canton so far. You know, John Connolly's gone, Sue Harrington's in. You know, I mean, we still got another year away, but you know, Chris's contract will be up, and hopefully he'll be out on his ass. And
Rafferty's gone.
Rafferty's gone, and congratulations to her. She's gone in another month, June 30th. Couldn't happen to a better person. You know, she got the retirement package. She's retired. So.
It is looking up though. It's definitely going in the right direction. And God bless those the people from Canton who live there and are fighting for their town. You guys rock.
Yeah. You know,
I
yeah,
do.
Dennis, hey, even those wins, Dennis, right? No
That was a
pickleball.
win,
So
right?
yeah, last night was a big town meeting, and they were trying to put the pickleball courts at what the hell's the name of that field there? They basically just wanted to build it in the middle of, you know, where people congregate.
Right.
It's like, what the frig are you doing? So they
And
voted.
it costs a shitload of
Yeah,
money.
and it cost a shit ton of money. So they all went last night and voted for it, and or voted against it, and no pickleball.
Yep.
Those stupid game is freaking tennis.
Yeah.
With a different kind
I
of
know.
ball.
You go to the gym or something and play it. Why do you need a freaking personal? And who requested it? Who wanted it? Because
Yeah.
I'm hearing a lot of people just didn't freaking
I
want
don't
it.
know.
I don't know.
That's what Pequiside, or whatever that is. That's a place.
Oh yeah, that's
the
the
place
where
down.
where we park.
Yeah, it's down the street from the.
They wanted. That's
Yeah.
a beautiful field.
Yeah, it's a nice park and everything down there. So
A-holes.
good. Congratulations to the town of Canton. Pickleball is for Floridians.
Yeah, right. It's like Scott.
Scott knows.
He knows what's up.
Oh shit. So
Wait, that's
oh,
this is a good point to be toast. You can still be nice to a person even if you don't like them. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just be human. Yeah, you don't have to like, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
Whatever. It's
You can be
fine.
cordial doesn't mean you got to tolerate shit either.
Yeah,
That's
that's true too. But,
So
there's a time and a place.
There's a fine
There's a time
line.
and a place. Yeah. But anyway, all right. What are we talking about?
I wanted to say we had Karen's Defense Fund we can pull up across the banner. Right?
Yep. Yes,
So
yes.
Karen's Defense Fund reached the $1 million mark,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. So it's over $1 million now, and still going. She's got a long way to go, and she's got a lot to pay for. And all these people flying in, these experts that are coming on board to make things right for her and for the team. Donate and help out best you can. Every little bit helps. $5 here or whatever.
I try to put the link in the comments, but it's like too large.
That's what she said.
But yeah, so I just freaking, you know where to go. You know where to
Yeah,
go.
I think we all know by now where to check it out. But yeah, freekarenread.net is pretty much. There's a couple of different ones out there from what I understand. So just make sure that you're on the legitimate one. The one on the justice page is typically the way to go. Go through there. This freekarenread.net. So check all that out. Make some, donate if you can. Every little bit helps, like we said. So I wanted to talk about. We had him on a couple of weeks ago, but I wanted to talk about Dylan real quick. So he's been here now for 4 weeks, a month now.
I can't even believe it.
So he leaves a week from tomorrow. So, here we go. We can just pin this Sherry D.
Oh, I just posted it too.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll pin that.
Yeah, let's put that. Yeah. Okay. And then how do you do it? Do you have to do it?
Yeah, go through Facebook.
Oh, right.
I mean, YouTube.
Okay.
Anyway, so Dylan's leaving. So he's been he's I think he's starting to get a little homesick. I don't know, Dylan.
Yeah,
he's
he's
starting
sick
to
of
get
us.
homesick. Yeah,
I'd be sick of us
he's
too.
sick of me.
Shit.
He too. Like, Dana, freaking stop talking to me and shit.
Dennis is trying to
Yeah.
get me to leave this weekend.
Yeah, so Dylan's gonna go.
Yeah.
We've had enough already.
Yeah, jeez.
No,
Like,
it's been great. It's
has
been
been
it's
awesome.
really great. You go from one extreme to the next. I can't even imagine what goes through his mind because, he has been nonstop since he's been here, and he's got Erica and Brenda telling him what he's going to do every single day.
Yeah. And he does it.
And he doesn't. He just goes with it. So, but a few people, I guess a couple people are coming in tomorrow, I think.
Hippie Chick's here. She was
Is-
there today.
Oh, no
Yep.
shit. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, somebody else was coming. Lisa Reed, maybe?
Yep. Lisa's
She's
coming.
coming in like Thursday or something
Yep.
like
Thursday. No, or Thursday or
that.
Friday.
Yeah, something like that.
Or something
So,
like that. But
yeah, some more people are coming in. So hopefully we get to meet some of these other people before Dylan leaves. We'll have to have another little gathering of sorts.
Oh, Stacy.
That's what, yeah, Spacey Stacy's here.
1 p.m. Thursday. He's got
Yeah.
like the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. The duck boat is warming up. That's
Yeah.
actually, we're going to talk about that. You want me to
Yeah.
play it?
So there it is. There's a duck boat. So tomorrow there's a crew going aboard the USS duck boat, and we're gonna hope for the best. And you know, I guess the weather's not supposed to be freaking
Yeah,
amazing.
so,
It's just a little cool like it
bundle
is
up.
today. But yeah, it'll be fun. I've never been. I
Me
think there's
neither.
a whole
A lot of people
there's a
haven't
bunch of
been.
people that are actually going tomorrow that have never been. So you know, obviously including Dylan. So I don't think he's been in the city yet since he's been here. So he's going to Salem too on Thursday. So Dennis is going to go and meet some witches. He's excited for that. I heard.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like he really wants to go.
Dennis loves the witches thing. So yeah. So anyway, so Dylan's here. It's been a cool experience. It's really, you know, for someone that, you know, I talk to personally on a daily basis before he got here. Now he's here, and I don't talk to him hardly at all because he's got too much going on, which is great because I'm always sick of talking to him anyway. But so anyway, yeah. So Dylan, looking forward to tomorrow. It'll be a good day. Let's see. So I did want to get a couple shout outs in. Tracy had mentioned the mods. All the mods are kicking ass. We've had so much going on, and a lot of people in the chat, especially when we go live on site at, you know, Dedham or just, you know, Legacy Place even. It gets chaotic, you know, and Dina takes charge and kicks the mods out and removes their wrenches
Yeah.
somehow
She
and
butt
butt
dials.
dials people.
It's a mystery. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, how did I do? It is. I have no idea how it happens. It's
Yeah.
a very specific thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. But no, but you know, they're doing a great job. So again, we appreciate you all, the team, Mexi Texi, who's been running the stream behind the scenes during the course of the day while working. She's what, 3 hours behind us, and she's out in the Midwest. So everything that she does is great. You know, she's doing, you know, I don't know how she's juggling
I don't
like she
either.
is. It just
I don't
gets wild.
either.
So I appreciate her so much.
She had to work today, so Dylan actually had to do some work, and he fell asleep at one point. Right, Dylan?
Well, time, Dylan.
That's what he said
It's not
anyway.
doing something. He's like, I'm knackered. Well, you're freaking knackered. You haven't done nothing but sit around. Let's go.
Wait, hold on a second. Coco, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, perfect.
Finally.
So I did want to give one more shout out. If you can go
Yes,
to the
yes.
Nette.
She's up here.
Yeah. So Nette is still doing the meal train. So if anybody wants to donate for the meal train, Nette has a very aggressive form of cancer, the sarcoma. I have a note here. So it says 1% of adults diagnosed have this type, and it's a very aggressive form of cancer. So you know, we're praying for Nette and her family. Anything you can do. You can play that one more time, everybody. If you get some time to look at the QR code. You know, if we can throw some love their way, we'll go directly to the link here. I put it in the chat, but I didn't have time for that today. So, but scan the QR code, go on there, donate. You know, she's welcoming, you know, messages and prayers and everything else. Reach out. We all know Nette. So yeah, we're praying for you.
Love you guys.
Yep. I had another thing I wanted to talk about, but I couldn't find the video. So if anybody has the video of Julie Grant talking highly about Hank Brennan, please send that along because I hate that bitch, and I just wanted I just wanted to play it. So fuck you, Julie Grant.
She's an ass.
Yeah, she is. She's the worst. Let's see. Oh, so anybody seen the Mass State Police logo?
Oh, yeah.
Free Karen Reed.
It's really cool.
Donna Marie Salvato is selling them and with the hats, shirts and hats on. Yep. So get a hold of her. I'm not sure of the particulars behind it, but I saw it and I want one.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. So check her out on Facebook. I don't know what the cost is or the situation. I know
I like the
obviously,
gray one.
yeah, but I know donate. Obviously, it's for Karen's defense fund as well. But I don't know what percentage. Obviously, she's going to pay to have those done. So,
Right.
But those are freaking really nice.
Yeah, they're awesome.
So yeah, check that out. Donna Marie Salvato. She's on Facebook. So thank you, Donna, for creating those. I've never met her. I just saw her. Like, we're gonna promote that shit.
Yeah,
it's
so awesome.
Yeah. You want to talk about yesterday when you went to see?
I do. I had
Dave?
a very long day yesterday. So I started in Boston. I got there at the courthouse at 7:30
for
Dave. It was the first day of Dave Finnerty's trial. So it was freezing, but we ain't got no quit. Yeah, I had my sign that said David Finnerty is innocent. I got some looks. I got some people asking questions. I was so lucky to see the family go in, and they were grateful that I was there. So it turns out when I guess I turned into part of the questioning for the jury, like they were doing jury selection that day. So I guess it was something like, did anyone see the protester outside? And some people had, and they said, they didn't, because when I was first there, I was just kind of standing against the wall with the sign behind my legs because like no one was really there and it was freezing. So I just, I was just kind of checking my phone or whatever and I had it. So some of the jurors didn't see that whose name it said or guilty or innocent, whatever. So it ended up that they did get a jury, 12 people and 2 alternates, and they actually started opening statements today. 2 jurors fell asleep, so that kind of sucks, but we'll see. Hopefully they'll wake up and see that the evidence that they have is definitely exculpatory.
No.
Yes. So much love to the Finnertys.
Absolutely.
I'll be back. I definitely want to sit in there during the trial for at least a day or something. I want to see what's going on. Get a read in there. So yeah, you guys are welcome. They start at 9 every day. So if you want to go down there and
Auntie Bev's going to be calling them up, trying to make them friggin' state a buffer zone or some shit.
Oh yeah, they also said the judge also said, what's the severity of the protesting? Is it Karen Reed level or is it like manageable or something like that?
Oh,
He made a
really?
joke about it. He also made a joke about like, some cops are bad and some are good. Some judges are bad, and some are good. So this dude knows what's up. So I don't know his name. I'll find out when I get more details. But yeah, so pray for them. Hopefully it should be 2 weeks, a 2-week trial.
Yeah,
So,
we have his defense fund thing set up on the banners, maybe.
Somewhere.
There it is.
There it is. Yep, there's the banner down there. You can just Venmo his wife Jen. Venmo is right there. If you have it, if you can, it would be greatly appreciated. I know everyone's strapped right now.
Yeah, and if you don't know about the case, I mean, we actually had Jen on a couple times to talk about it. And Tracy on Easter Sunday actually kind of clipped out one of the videos we did with her, one of the streams, and just pulled in all the, just the real true talking points and all the case facts and that type of thing. So it's what, maybe 45 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, if that.
Something around
Yeah.
that. So it gets the point across. If you have any questions, reach out. You know, I mean, the family could definitely use some help there. You know, the shit that's going on is just it's
So corrupt
atrocious.
and
It's so
disgusting,
bad.
and what they do to families is just I don't know. Arson 45, it's not being streamed or zoomed because it's a federal case, so no cameras in the courtroom, unfortunately.
Yeah. So the state had dropped the case, and then the feds opened it back up for whatever freaking reason. So
Yeah.
it's terrible.
So yeah, I'll keep you updated on that. I know everyone asked me, so thank you for asking about how it went and stuff. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So we do like do that one.
Okay. So there's a 90s boots on the ground party. It's a Karen Reed and Turtle Boy fundraiser. It's at the Middleborough Elks on June 28th, 6 to 11. I'm not sure about the ticket.
Yeah, I didn't hear back on that, but we'll have some more information.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do a live on Saturday, so Jess can come on and give you the details. She can't do it tonight because she's working, but all she has is Saturday open. So we're gonna try to see if we can do something so she can let you guys know the deets.
Yep. I wanted to give a shout out to I'll play the video, but we played the Brian Hale.
Oh, where is that?
It's somewhere in there.
Oh, there it is. There you go.
So
Oh, let me get rid of this banner.
yeah,
There you go.
look at that. Yeah, I mean,
Brian's super talented.
yeah,
And you know, he's always there at the courthouse taking phenomenal pictures of Karen and all the goings on. So if you can visit Brian's webpage, there's a lot of stuff on there, and it's really
there's
cool.
some absolutely beautiful pictures. So he's been around. I mean, I remember seeing him. Like, who's that guy with the camera over there?
Yeah.
You know, he's been around since the beginning of time, and
Yeah.
you know, we totally appreciate him and everything he does. But once I found this website and started digging through some of these pictures, I was literally blown away. There's just so much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Hold that.
Oops, sorry.
Oh,
I'm just
no,
doing
shit,
all sorts
yeah.
of things weirdly here. I don't know where it is. There it is.
There it is.
Sorry. Okay. And we're back.
Here we go. Let's see what else before we get Scott on here. Let's do the weekly Hey Now.
Oh, weekly Hey Now.
That was a good one though.
It was a good one. Where did I put it? We got to do this too.
Oh yeah, my God, yeah.
Let's just do that now.
Yep. Look at
Look at these guys. Look at that shirt.
the head hen, Timma.
Timma!
Getting things done. I freaking love the shirts. I love the shirt.
It's
It's
so amazing.
So-
I also want to share this picture because she just looks great and beautiful. So look at our Dina walking into court today.
Yep.
You get him, girl.
Go do
You
it.
look really good in purple. I saw a lot of people say that too. So I'm glad you got a seat in there. About time.
Yep.
What else?
Do we
You wanna
get the
do-
Hey Now. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Hey Now
there it is.
spit.
Okay, ready?
Hey now. Free Karen Reed, everybody. Have a great night.
He definitely said hey now.
He said Hey Now. Huh?
All right.
He was on vacation, so welcome back to Kurt as
Yeah,
well,
we
so.
missed him a lot. It was great
Yeah.
to see him back out there, and Donna. We missed them.
Two more things we can get Scott in. So
Okay.
the standout, the Karen Reed Standouts website, again, that has everything on there. If you want to check it out, if you're looking for the standouts for the dive bars, tell us something. This will show everything. So KarenReedStandouts.com. There's a comment section. If you have, there's a contact. There's dive bar, upcoming trial dates. That's actually like a
Spreadsheet.
yeah, so like a big document that shows all the different trial dates for all the cases. It shows Aiden's dates. It shows you know, all the Karen's dates, all the different things that are going on. So
Mhm.
different courthouses, you know, back when we were overloaded with court dates and it was, you know, Whitey and Peter and the Canton Nine and
Oh,
all this, and
God.
there was just so many damn people having to go to court. So, but the document's still there in full. So go there and check it out if you haven't. And if you have anything scheduled that you want to get out there for everybody, you'll reach out. There's a contact section at the very bottom. You know, send it out, and then Bobby will get those things posted so everybody can see what's going on. And finally, Microdot's been busy.
Yeah.
He's been very, very busy. So
Doing some cool stuff.
he threw out a couple videos over the past 2 days. He did the
Higgins one.
the
he just
Higgins one,
released.
yeah. Higgins CPD footage analyzed.
Yeah.
And that was it's just amazing. So check those out.
Also, that's where you can get a hoodie like Erica's. That's
Yeah, true that.
Microdots makes that. I posted the website on our Facebook page today. So if you want a hoodie like Erica, you can have one because
Yes.
this is America.
Yep, exactly.
It's America. So
And then the other video he made actually was corrupt judge signals dirty prosecutor.
mm.
So that was when Bev gave Hank the old wink, wink, nod, nod, and then
So
smiled.
like, and she did like
Yeah.
wanna
Yeah,
like
there you go. Come on.
yeah.
Yep. Sidebar, corrupt asshole.
Seriously, come
So
on.
bad.
At least make like at least try to hide it.
Yep.
You know, it's just so dirty and gross.
Yeah. Try to be discreet, and you're not. So they don't give a shit. Very brazen.
Yeah. We'll talk about that when Scott comes on, which is probably I want to talk about like how like everyone's career is basically ruined.
Yeah,
It's been on
yeah,
the stand.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we'll see what Scott
Yeah,
has to say about
let's-
that.
let's
You want to
do
bring him
this.
on?
Yeah, Scott, you ready to roll, bud?
Right.
So-
With no further ado, let's bring on the man,
Yeah.
the myth, the legend.
Here he is.
Scotty!
No, I was laughing. I was like, was Dina staring down the glarer or Hank Brennan?
I know.
Yeah,
She's
pull that up.
cheating on me.
She's cheating on me. Oh wait, check this out. We gotta show this. Where is it? Here it is.
Yeah. There's Mr. McGinnis. Dina, she reminds me. You're going to get the internet talking. They're going to be like, hey, Dina, thanks for. Oh, you.
So cute.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah, the rumors
Yeah.
are starting.
Oh, they were immediately in chat. They were.
Oh yeah. People like, yeah, they lose their minds over that shit.
yeah, it's funny.
So what's up, bud? How you doing?
Good. It was another long day.
Yeah.
Interesting last few days, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
Randazzo showing up, and I got another
Yeah.
signature on my sign. And then moments later, you know, Erica's arrested. It's like,
I
you
know,
can't
I
make this
know.
up.
Yeah, it was crazy. What a crazy day.
You got pretty much everybody signed on that sign now, huh? So
I do. I got
anybody
Vinny
you missed off the
Politan.
top of your head?
I got Vinny Politan to finally sign it. He wouldn't sign it.
did you
before I
really?
won. Yeah.
What's his
And
name?
then,
What's that other guy?
Matt from Court TV. He was very talkative to me the other day. He was very nice. It was just me and him.
I haven't asked Matt Kendall
Yeah,
Johnson to
Kendall.
sign my sign.
His face is, it is. It's just like this perfect TV face and his hair. And it's,
I mean, I bust Matt's balls, but he's actually a good reporter, good guy.
he is. He's doing, I
Just
told
make
him,
fun of
I'm
him.
like, you're doing a good job. Thanks for being here. And he said he really liked being in Dedham. He's going to be here for the Walsh trial. So that'll be cool.
Yeah. I mean, he's
You're
pretty comfortable. He like knows the area now so much. Him and Vinny too, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They're like old hats down there now.
All right.
Yeah, so it was pretty wild to see Randazzo down there showing up, you know, boots on the ground. He wanted to see what the buffer zone looked like. And then all of a sudden, a whole bunch of stuff all happened all at once.
Yeah.
So what was he down there for to begin with? He wasn't down there
He
for
had a
that,
4
right?
o'clock appointment in the courthouse.
Oh, okay. okay.
No, his 4 o'clock appointment was a Zoom hearing to the federal courthouse in Boston.
Oh. Oh. I
But
thought it was
he
something-
wanted to be boots on the ground down there in Dedham just to see what it was like, and we got the opportunity to talk to him and say, "Hey, look at Mark,
Yeah.
this
That
early
shit's
celebration of a win last week. The Bev's convoluted word salad order and the state police cat team's interpretation of Bev's order, really nothing has changed
right.
other than, Sergeant Hardman was letting some people go down there, like, in front of the registry of deeds. But other than that, nothing's changed. If we go past this buffer zone line with any Karen Reed gear on or signs or anything that even pertains to Judge Cannoni or DA Meatball Morrissey or anything, we're gonna get warned or thrown out of the buffer zone or even arrested.
Yep. Norfolk
And,
County, any reference to that, you're screwed.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. It's like,
Yeah.
define the shit or back off a little bit. I mean, you've
So
been down there. You've been down there
you know where we post up, right? So
Yep.
we're all, right there in front of the dance studio, former church, right near the district court.
Yep.
Mark Randazza is like, "Hey, look, let's get a bunch of people and we're gonna walk into the buffer zone." He's looking at me in my full, Karen Reed uniform. He's like, "No, you can't go."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minion Mike and some of the other people kind of took all their apparel off, except for, Erica still had the Norfolk County as criminal or whatever we read.
Hmm.
And they all marched into the buffer zone. And they're down by the registry of deeds. I'm still, at the 200-foot border just watching it. And that's when she got arrested. And then right after that, Mark Randazza took his laptop and went down into the basement of the registry of deeds and did his Zoom hearing with the federal judge in Boston. Told the judge in Boston, "Hey, this is what's going on." The First Circuit Federal Court ordered Judge Bev to fix it,
Yep.
and she didn't fix it at all. So when he came out of the registry of deeds, he came back down to us. He goes, "The federal judge is not happy.
Hmm.
I'm going to get an emergency meeting face to face with this judge Thursday in U.S. District Court."
Good. Good.
So we'll see what happens.
No, I mean,
And then meanwhile, today at noontime, Mark Randazza, because Erica was arrested, used that stipulation in Bev's latest order to get a hearing in front of a Superior Court judge. Obviously, it wasn't Beverly Cannoni.
oh,
So they went into court at noontime. So Mark Randazza offered an argument. I don't know the judge's name. I know people that were in the hearing. I stayed outside.
Yeah.
What I do.
Yeah.
And they came back outside and said, "Hey, we need signage. We need." So I grabbed a bunch of my signs, other people, and they all brought their signs into court to show the judge like what we're doing out there. And I hear Mark gave like a 20-minute argument to the judge that was hearing our pleadings, and he took it under advisement, and I heard it went well. So I think that was the state trying to fix Beverly's mistake before it gets to the federal courthouse Thursday. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot happening as we speak day to day. I envision that Bev's current buffer zone order is poorly written word salad. It's going to be changed. Either the feds are going to do it for her, or this judge that heard the 12 o'clock hearing today is going to do something about it. But it might take a week or two, but I think the buffer zone is going to change. I don't think it can remain this way. It's unconstitutional. It's not tenable. Sergeant Mike Hardman, in charge of the CAT team down there, really doesn't know how to interpret it. They're just staying, hardcore. No signs down here. Nothing. Bev never changed the perimeter of the buffer zone. The 400-foot
right.
line hasn't changed. So if we went back down to the church green where we parked in trial one, we can park down there, but we can't have signs. We can't have apparel. We can't have,
Right.
yeah, we can all park down there. I mean, the people do in the mornings, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they go down to the front of the courthouse where we're good till 8 a.m. and then the buffer zone takes effect. And then we have to,
Mhm.
flee, like the
Yeah,
Jews
run away.
crossing, escaping Egypt.
Yeah,
And we get to the other end. And then we do our meet and greet of Karen Reed's motorcade coming in.
Yep.
But the only way I can do what I like to do, have all the signs on my truck and wear all my Karen Reed gear or whatever, I have to go to the other end,
Right.
the 200 foot. And that's where we made our home base. And all those parking spaces by the church green, the new 400-foot buffer zone. There's
Yep.
no more street parking after that.
Yeah.
And you got a
Yeah,
narrow
yeah,
sidewalk there's no area for us down there. So
Yep.
we'll see what happens.
What about the parking enforcement down there too? Did they come up? Brandy had mentioned that the parking monitor guy was walking around telling everybody they rotate cars every 2 hours and shit.
It's not his fault. You know what? The guy's really
Oh,
cool.
absolutely not.
We talk to him every day. You know what? You can tell every time he pulls up, he's just like, oh, really? I got to deal with this. Like he doesn't want them.
Yep.
But, you have the Pilates place or whatever that is. And then there's a setback to the right of that church. If you're looking at the front of it,
Yep.
there's a couple other businesses in there, a PT clinic or whatever. And, the owner or the proprietors in that building are not happy with 4, 5, 6, free Karen Reed cars parked in that public parking spots on the street right in front of their business.
Right.
But it's not our fault.
Yeah.
If Bev had left the old buffer zone on the other end 200 feet, we would be where we were in trial one.
Right. There wouldn't be a
Bev
problem.
took away our sweet spot, so now we've been forced down that end where there's more pedestrian traffic, there's more business, but we have no quit. You know what I mean? We're gonna
Right.
be there,
Yeah.
and we're sorry.
Yep.
Petition the Norfolk DA's office, petition the Massachusetts trial court, write a letter to Judge Beverly Cannoni. Other than that, we're gonna be right here every day. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly, Scott. It's just chaotic that they think they can get away with doing this, and they are. Technically, they are, but I mean, they're being exposed. The state looks, we're a freaking laughing stock right now. They're like, what the hell's going on up in Massachusetts?
Good.
Even Randazza is like, wow, I didn't realize it was this bad.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
Well,
like, oh yeah, you should be able to just go down there with your sign. And I'm like, okay, I want to be the next person in the paddy wagon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You're not getting it unless you're down there, boots on the ground, seeing how the state police. Dedham's really cool. I think Dedham could care less. It's the state police CAT team and the state police CERT team on bikes that are
Yeah.
Yeah.
hyper vigilant.
I mean, haven't people pressed charges or complained about Hardeman? I mean, does that go up to Noble at this stage, or how the hell how that process works?
Well, I've seen the major down there a lot. The major was down there again today. I never saw
really?
the major that much down there.
Really?
He was standing in front of just the court today, a good part of the day.
Really?
I mean, we've all been at this a long time. I've been boots on the ground since July of 2023. A lot of us in the Free Karen movement have many boot on the ground hours down there.
Yep.
There's tensions. And if you think about Sergeant Mike Hardman's men, a lot of those guys have been down there the same amount of time. They know all this.
Right.
They're getting battle fatigue, quote unquote. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And there's just been a lot of time that's passed and a lot of stress, and this has changed and that's changed, and what do we do? What's the new rule? This crazy thing that Bev wrote. You know, how do I interpret it? Bev wrote it so poorly that she left it all upon Sergeant Mike Harmon to interpret the word salad.
Mhm.
Right.
And his default is just to say, no, I'm just keeping it the same. Yeah, maybe I can let people down in front of the court, maybe on the registry of deed side, if they don't have free Karen Reed apparel or signs. But he's even uncomfortable with that.
Yeah.
And somebody needs to, I don't know if it's the federal courts or a judge not as biased as Bev to say, hey, this is more reasonable. This is what we're gonna do. This
Right,
is what
absolutely.
how it's gonna work.
I mean, we've been in compliance for the most part anyway, you know, just based upon what we know. But they don't, it's not defined. So how are we supposed to know? You know, we're like not down there, you know, raising hell. We never have been. Nobody's ever been down there raising hell. You know, you get a couple bad apples in the bunch every now and again or whatever, but
Never caused
you know,
problems.
never causing
like,
problems. Exactly.
no one got
Well,
arrested last
if you go
year.
back to
Right.
if you go back to this morning's live when I took the link for a while, you know,
Yep.
waiting for Karen Reed to arrive. The woman that owns that corner house there that we're in front of,
Yeah.
she came out to her front gate and she didn't want to be filmed, but we were talking to her. And she was saying, you know, she remembers us from trial one and how, you know, cleanly we were and made sure the area was picked up, and she had a lot of respect for us as a group, and we talked about that. Some of that's captured on this morning's live.
Oh, beautiful. I didn't, I'll have to go rewatch that. Thanks for grabbing that, Scott. That's good. Yeah. And again, she's, you know,
And
that's what-
she wishes that we had the old buffer zone back from
Right.
trial
Yeah.
one, because we
Yeah,
wouldn't
like
be in
she
front of her
wants us in
house.
her corner. Yeah.
yeah, get away from my house.
Yeah. I think they did that. You know, they said that the foreman in trial one could hear us screaming while they were deliberating or whatever. You know, all of us that are actually boots on the ground every day really don't believe that. I mean, there was times toward the end of the trial where there was a lot of people down there, and as long as they put down their signs and took off their free Karen Reed gear, we were allowed to go down right by the courthouse. You remember
Yeah.
Karen and her team were going from the courthouse down that driveway into the church rectory building,
Yep.
and there was a lot of people down there. Maybe that's what the foreman was referring to from trial one. But as far as us being down past the 200-foot buffer zone down by the church green, I highly doubt the jurors inside the courthouse could hear us down there,
Right,
even when we had the big crowds.
Yeah.
I think they saw, they studied, they followed what we did in trial one, and they took it away from us out of spite. That's what I think they did.
I agree.
It's totally about spite. Totally. You're right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But when they took that whole area away from the church green down to what the new 400-foot, because once you get there, there's no more street parking. And then they have those orange barrels for another quarter mile all the way to the Dedham Common.
Yeah.
There's literally no place to park.
Yep.
And they think they did it to literally just all you people take your ball and go home. That's what they want. They don't want us
Yeah.
down there. We make the DA look bad. We make the judge look bad. We make the state look bad. They hate it.
Yeah.
You know, free speech be damned. You people just go away so we can go about our corrupt business without your interruption. That's how I look at it.
Exactly. Exactly. Or
Yeah.
anything pro Karen Reed, they want nothing. They don't want any part of it. So it's all just for spite.
Yeah. It's like we're not making
And
them
we
look
always
bad, they're
we
doing
always
themselves.
approached it as, we're not like, you know, these crazy protesters that
Right.
just are. We're supporters of Karen Reed. We want truth and justice, and we're not going to disrespect or trash downtown historic Dedham. We respect the area. We
Right.
always have, and we respect the process. We never bothered the jury being busted in the back. We never went
Yeah.
back there. We never try to influence the jury. We never try to stop the trial. You know, if you look at 13A, you know, picketing of a courthouse, that law goes way back in time.
Mm-hmm.
When that law refers to picketing of a courthouse, you're talking about 1700s, 1800s, where they would literally picket a courthouse. So the judge couldn't get in, the jury couldn't get in or out. They were literally trying to stop a trial. That's what picketing a courthouse means.
Right.
It doesn't mean a bunch of women in pink shirts holding, you know, free Karen Reed signs. They're
Yeah, right.
misinterpreting it.
Exactly.
Well, you had that happen to you in Worcester at Aiden's thing the other day too, didn't they? Give you a 13A? That's insane.
Well, yeah, the chief came out with a copy of 13A. So I'm the only one out there because everybody else went into Aiden's hearing.
Right.
Well, there's a couple other people that showed up. Jay Shocklast, a couple other people.
Yeah.
But pretty much everybody was in the courthouse. And I'm out there with my Free Turtle Boy sign, which looks like my Free Karen Reed sign. That's the same. And my flag.
Yeah.
And I'm just walking around in front of the front door, and it's during the lunch break. So there's a bunch of people sitting out there. If you look at the front entrance to Worcester courthouse, it's like a big, like little plaza thing that goes right to the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So I'm just walking around out there. I'm watching the Glare live, trying to moderate. Glare was going to have Bob Motter on as a guest. Tina was going to come out of the courthouse and go live. We were trying to coordinate everything.
Yeah.
And I'm looking back at the courthouse, and I can see people looking out of the clerk's office. You know, they're all like, "Ooh, who's this guy out there?"
Look at that guy. Yeah.
And then somebody comes out of the courthouse that just did business at the clerk's desk. And she comes out and approaches me and she goes, "Hey, those people up there are already looking at you. They were talking about you when I was at their desk." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then like 10, 15 minutes later, one-star general chief court officer comes out with another court officer. And he literally has a single page printed out of 13A.
Oh my God.
Picketing the courthouse. And he's claiming that the cobblestone, well, it's printed concrete, but it looks like cobblestone. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's saying that that's all courthouse property and it goes all the way to the curb. And I go, "Well, where's the public sidewalk part?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll stay like near the road. And he's saying, "No, the court owns it all right to the curb. So you got to go across the street."
Oh my God.
They can just do anything they want and say anything they want. You know, it's.
And
they
he
just
goes,
make
"Do
up
you
rules.
need a copy of 13A?" And I go, "No, I'm well familiar with 13A.
Yeah.
I don't need a copy."
Yeah, got it.
I live in.
So, but I'm, you know, I'm holding my sign, my flag. I got my phone. I'm trying to do Glare live. I'm trying to moderate. I'm trying to see if Dina's coming out.
Yeah.
Because Glare was going to put Dina's feed on his show. And I'm just looking at these two court officers. I'm like, whatever, dudes. And, you know, I just want to cross the street. I don't even want to argue with them.
Yeah.
They're
But
inside
they
going
created their
like,
own
we
buffer
know
zone.
that guy.
Instant buffer zone. And I've protested there before with my Free Turtle Boy sign right in front of that same courthouse. Never been approached before.
Yeah.
You know, that's the danger of Bev's buffer zone in trial 1 and 2. I believe it sets a dangerous precedent.
It does. I agree.
If we don't fight back on it, oh, hey, we got away with it this time. Anytime there's a controversial trial, anytime the public thinks there's corruption, we're going to put a buffer zone all around the court and, you know, squelch free speech. You know, maybe I'm thinking a little crazy, but
no, they're
No,
already doing that,
That's
man.
exactly the direction it's going. We
Yep.
do have to be loud and we do have to fight it. So yeah, I mean, we're the only ones that can change it, really. Just demand change.
Yeah, we got to keep.
I mean, we
pushing.
think about all the standouts we've done all around the state, and then it spreads all around the country, all around the world.
Yeah.
But I mean, even, you know, the protests we've done at Meatball Morrissey's office, the State House, all the time we spend, you know, even standing out at the Karen Reed trials. You might think it's not working, but it is. I think it is.
I think it
I
is
definitely
too.
think it is. Look at all the exposure it's gotten, you know, for Karen's trial the second time around even. So, I mean, it's definitely opened some people's eyes, and just I think what we're doing is effective. It might take a long time, and there might not be a ton of us, but I think that it's working.
Well, I mean, obviously, the new restrictions on the current buffer zone have definitely hurt our numbers.
Yeah, for
But at the
sure.
same time, there's so many more people watching this trial, covering this trial since trial one. If you go all the way back to like April 2023, when Aiden first broke the case,
Mhm.
and even going into pre-trial one and even trial one in the beginning, a lot of people really weren't on board, even though we ended up with big crowds, boots on the ground down there nationwide as far as coverage on major YouTube channels. Not till the end of trial one did it start getting the attention everywhere.
Right.
Now, in trial two, even though we have less people, boots on the ground, Emily D. Baker, lawyer, Melanie Little's got 30,000 people watching this trial live.
Mm-hmm.
Even the smaller channels, that this trial is being watched everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, our standing out in trial one has added to that. And I think maybe if we could get better buffer zone rules, we'd have more people down here for the defense's case and for deliberations. Might not ever be the same as it was in trial one, but I wouldn't let that discourage anybody, because this trial is in the world's face. Everybody's watching this.
Maybe.
Yep.
So I think, all the boots on the ground time has, contributed to that.
Yep, I agree.
So it's not wasted time.
No, definitely not. It's definitely not. I mean, we still have to be, like every time we're down there, there's always questions about the buffer zone and this and this. It's always, we're not going away, like we continue to ask these questions, and we continue to, not be in their faces, but we're here, and you can't not see us. I don't know. We're not going away. So they should definitely try to figure this out. So people
Yeah,
are.
and back to like the OGs that have been down there forever.
Mm-hmm.
Even Hardman and his men, most of them have been down there the whole time.
Yep.
Does some people get on each other's nerves?
Mm-hmm.
Does Hardman have a bad day? does
Yeah,
one of us amongst
exactly.
each other have a bad day? Yep. We're human. We make
Yep.
mistakes.
One day he's buying us coffee and donuts, and the next he's arresting Erica.
Exactly.
Make up your mind.
Especially
buddy.
when Hardman's walking up to her, okay, Erica, cuff up. Like, he knows her, you know what I mean? It's not like he's arresting a stranger.
Exactly.
Well, my problem with that is watching that video back and seeing how he approached her. And I said to Tracy earlier. So she's walking this way down the street, and he's coming from behind one of the vehicles. And he knows what she's wearing. He doesn't like it, but it wasn't in plain. It wasn't in plain sight to him at that stage, right? She didn't walk down the street backwards towards him. She could have changed her sweatshirt in the car, and who was he to? He was gunning for it. He just wanted. As soon as he saw her next, he was all.
Yeah, because we walked across. We walked across the registry of deeds, and we actually sat for a little while on the bench to see what would happen. And all of a sudden, we saw like Hardman get out of his truck and kind of like go behind his truck, and it looked like they were kind of like, all right, what are we gonna do here? So that's when we got up and we were like, all right, let's see what they're gonna do. Let's take a walk. And that's what happened. And that's why he came out from behind that truck, because that's where they all were.
A lot of people give Hardman a hard time, but if you really think about it, he's been in command of this cat team for 2 years, in his eyes, babysitting the free can read movement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and then he gets this latest convoluted word salad order from Judge Bev, and he's trying to interpret it and force it. He gets stressed too.
Oh, absolutely.
I've seen him lose it. He lost it on Johnny Delgado.
Yeah.
He lost it on Bow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's had
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
days.
Yeah. But you know what? Someone who's in charge like that should have better people skills, you know, or like or can arrest someone without getting angry. You know, the way that he kind of whipped Erica around was just unnecessary.
But see, a lot of it, like even Bow, you know, Bow was across the street in front of the court.
yeah.
Hardman's telling him you got to vacate the area, you got to leave. But Bow is like a professional at this. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
he
got
is.
warrants in like 5 states. So what he does is just, okay, sir, and he walks away.
Yeah.
And he goes to the next group of troopers across the street,
Yeah.
and he plays dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now those troopers have to start out from square one, explaining, you know, hey, this is what you can do and can't do. But Bow's kind of playing a game. He already knows he's supposed to leave.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So Hardman's across the street, and he looks over at his men that are being played by Bow because he's just already told Bow to leave.
Yeah.
So by the time Hardman goes over there, he's not necessarily angry at Bow. He's angry at his own men.
Yeah. He's angry. Yeah.
He's just
And
angry.
he's just taking it out on Bo.
Yeah.
Hey, don't let this guy play you. I already told him to leave.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm done with this guy. Cuff him up and throw him in the van. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's,
Yep.
people need to know the full context of how that happens.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Bow's used to being arrested, so he goes into the typical, "Oh, you hurt me.
Yeah.
I'm having mental health issues," and he dug his own hole there because he ended up with a 15A psych hold.
Yeah.
That's why he couldn't make bail that first night.
Yeah. Yeah. They kept him overnight.
Let's,
Go ahead.
let's watch.
Luckily,
the video.
Erica didn't act crazy.
Yeah, I know, right? Let's watch Erica's video getting arrested. So in case anyone hasn't seen it. Right. I'll be.
Anxiety. What happened? John the Pete Show, it's John the Pete Show. Oh, sorry, I was just saying that. Oh, I didn't realize.
Erica, you're in violation, you're trespassing, you know it.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yep.
what do you want to do? You want to go in and speak to the judge?
Sure.
And take it off or leave?
Sure.
Or you're going to be placed under arrest? What do you want to do?
She doesn't want to answer any questions, sir. I'm her attorney.
All right. You're being placed under arrest.
Don't cooperate.
Don't
You
get
kidding me?
rough. Don't get rough.
Cooperate and don't double.
Double.
What's she being charged with?
Trespassing. Violation of the court order. All right?
Are you sure about that?
Yep.
We got you, girl. We got you.
Walking that way.
That's in my pocket.
Yeah, I'm walking that way.
I don't care. I don't care.
That's totally fine. I have nothing illegal on me.
Okay. I want to set him here on the floor.
You can't get it off me without the cuffs. There you go. All right.
What?
And then my front pocket, is my phone. Yep. And then
take your
I
phone?
don't- my front pocket might have
What's that?
some papers in it.
I'll take
I
your
don't know.
Which one?
My front pocket
No, let her
might
keep-
have
let
some
her-
papers. No, it's like
Okay. Okay. Well, you should go on. I know.
You're taking it. You should probably keep your phone so you make a call when you get out. Unless you want someone else to have it.
No, I don't think so. If I do, it's a surprise to me.
Yeah. You want your phone?
All right, where's your phone?
I just gave
I got
it
it.
to
I got
them.
it. You want it? You want it?
Yes, sir.
How am I?
No, you're gonna probably want it.
It's up to you.
So you're your attorney?
Yeah.
You want it? You want
Yeah,
it?
you can give them everything.
Okay.
Can I just fix my hair out of my eye? I'll
Do you have a number? Who?
No, they're so.
Do you have my number?
Does she remember?
No, I don't.
All right. Well,
You want it?
Yes, I would like him to take everything.
mind if I
That's okay
approach
with
you,
guys.
prisoner?
Do you have my car keys? My truck is parked outside the church. I need someone to move it.
Erica, who should I call?
Anthony,
Where are your keys?
they should be in my bag. Where's your car? Right up there, outside the church.
Yeah.
The class is so, like,
What was the difference with what?
Oh,
Hey.
you got Karen at the end of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that was messed up. I mean, I don't know. It didn't have to go down that way, but again,
But
specifically, what
I
can't we
sort of think it
wear?
was inevitable, though. I think that's kind of
Yeah,
unfortunately where it had to go. Because
yeah,
that's the only reason that Randazza got the noontime hearing today.
yep.
Mhm.
You know,
Yes, everyone was talking about the woman trooper that's down there now.
yeah, there was one today. The first time
Yeah.
I've seen a female on the cat team down there.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
They probably
So,
should have had them on the whole time.
yeah,
80%,
exactly.
80% of free Karen Reed is women. So.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
that's who should have arrested Erica.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know. I'm sure she would have been a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know who she is. I don't know how. You know, but it's good. They should have a woman there.
I don't know. I think that one guy who's got the, just because you have half a sleeve on your friggin'
Oh yeah, that
on
little
your
guy.
arm
What an asshole.
doesn't make you a badass. I just want to say that
He
'cause
started with Minion Mike. It was
Yeah.
like embarrassing. It's like, dude, relax.
he finally found someone that was shorter than him.
Yeah, right. He thought he was just badass. It was like, dude.
It's like, don't mess
Yeah,
with
but
me.
Mike said that when he got back down to where we are, where my truck is, that the police were accusing them, well, baiting him. Are you,
Yeah.
doing this and doing that?
It's like, fuck you. What do you guys talk about
Yeah.
all day? That's what you think we're doing? You know,
Yeah.
like it's just I don't know.
Randazza talked Mike down and just told him like kind of like, hey, just don't do it. Don't do anything. Don't say anything.
Yeah.
So, he even said
Well,
that
the
to me last night.
funny thing is that those Hardman and all his men, they know all of us. It's not like they're
Right.
dealing with
Yeah.
strangers.
Right.
That's what's so. It's not funny, but it's funny. Like you know everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
So he approached
It's
Erica
not
and
like
said,
just a
Erica.
bunch of random protesters showed up in front of the courthouse and you don't know anybody. You know all of us.
Right.
Right. He's on a first name basis with
Yeah,
with
exactly.
everybody. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, dude, you know we're not violent, we're not here to cause any problems. We
Yeah.
just want to support. And if it says what it said on Erica's hoodie, so be it. They took that personal. That it pissed them off.
Mhm.
That's
Well,
why.
think about a real protest. They'd be
Yeah.
showing up with F the police and
Right.
Right.
bandanas over their faces. You know what I mean? That's like a
Yeah.
protest.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
exactly.
not what Free Karen Reed is at all.
No, it's not. It's not. But they have to be hardos and they have to do their thing. I don't know. We'll see what happens on Friday. I'll be there. I have that day off, so I'll be there in court with Erica. See what happens.
I mean, I think unless this judge today that
yeah,
heard the thing does something before Thursday, I think
yeah,
I was on another channel and they were saying that the federal judge hearing that Randazza is going to Thursday, if the federal court doesn't think that Judge Cannoni's new ruling is satisfactory, I guess they can overrule her and the feds can step in and fix it themselves. That's how I was understanding it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, yeah,
So we'll
that's what
see.
should happen because she's useless. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, they have to do. I mean, the people that are above, above the law at this stage. I mean, whoever they are, people can step in and do whatever the hell they want to do. Clearly, if Bev has free reign on the, a section of Dedham, Massachusetts, then the feds can pop in and say, no, you don't, and this is friggin' public property. We should be able to be out there. I don't give a shit about 13A. Like to your point, we're not picketing. We're not blocking the courthouse. We're not interfering with the jurors. Any of that shit. You want to shut down behind the courthouse for the buffer zone. We don't want anybody out back. The jurors are going to come in and out of there, whatever. Not a problem, especially with this crowd. We more than comply with that. We comply with all this shit already. It's unheard of. This is so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just getting more and more ridiculous.
It is.
And I
does
mean, I hate to bring up politics, but I think this whole buffer zone is all about politics, not about what they're saying it's about. I think if this case was a whole different case and people were protesting out there, it would be treated totally different. This is all about protecting G.A. Morrissey's reputation. That's how I look at the big picture of all this. The reason why they hate this buffer zone so bad. It goes all the way back to July 2023 when we were all up on the stairs. That's one of Vinnie Politan's famous clips.
Yeah,
Have you
I
ever
know.
seen this before?
Yeah.
You know, Karen Reed's motorcade stopping right at the bottom of the stairs, and she's going up the stairs, and we're all on both sides of the stairs. You know, free Karen Reed. They hated it. Morrissey must have went nuts.
Yeah.
He hated that.
Yeah.
That
You
was
know, like,
awesome.
such a bad look for his office. That's what I believe this whole buffer zone thing is about. He's trying to sanitize what the public sees. It has nothing to do with giving Karen Reed a fair trial at all.
Exactly.
But you know what? It's getting all the media attention it's getting now. I mean, it doesn't matter if we're, I mean, it does matter, but if we're 500 feet away or whatever the case may be, the media is approaching everybody. I mean, how many times have you been interviewed, Scott, over the past 2 years? You know, I mean, you got a camera in your face all the time. They're always coming up to you like, okay, who's this guy? Let's talk. You know, Kurt, Dina. I mean, you know, we've had a couple different ones. I know there's just numerous people that just keep getting the camera in their face, and it's making a difference.
I noticed there's a lot less mainstream media interviewing us anymore. It's like you know, Seeking Justice will come up. You know, Michael Bryant, some smaller news organization. But as far as Channel 5, Channel 25, any of the big channels, they're not interviewing us. They already know our story, and it doesn't fit their narrative. So they don't bother with us.
Yep. But the mainstream media, I mean, it's you know, that's going away. You know, it's going to be independent media that's going to be, you know, that's going to really start making a difference and making a change, because people are typically reporting the truth and reporting the real story of what the hell is going on. There's no narrative being controlled by, you know, someone with a shit ton of money.
I mean, Vinnie Politan, not this current Monday, the Monday before, he was boots on the ground down there, and he did a lot of street interviews. And I was telling everybody giving the interviews, like, oh, I've given a lot of these interviews. It never makes it past the cutting room floor. You'll never see this interview. But he, one of his shows on Court TV was specifically about the buffer zone.
Yep.
That was what most of the questions were about. And surprisingly, a lot of our interviews made it to the show, but it was about the buffer zone mostly. It wasn't about the case. So we were more than happy to answer our frustrations about the buffer zone and how it's working. And he made that a theme of one of his live shows last week. But then there's always the next stupid question.
Yeah.
Out of the blue. Oh, what are you going to do if Karen Reed's found guilty? And you just look and squint-eyed at Vinnie Politan, like, really, dude? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you just derailed this whole thing, guy.
Yeah.
and then you say something stupid, and that's the 1 5-second clip that's going to end up on.
Yeah, right.
Because that I learned a long time ago, talking to the media, you have to like constantly be thinking about what you're saying, because you might be taking the long road to get to your point.
Yeah.
And some of your sentences, phrases, or paragraphs are going to be taken way out of context. And then sometimes I just get frustrated. So they come up to me, oh, so what do you think? Well, D.A. Morrissey's a criminal. All his troopers are corrupt. Blah, blah, blah. So none of it's going to show on TV. It's all cut.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the thing, though. But that's the thing about, like, you know, YouTube and the channels that are out there. I mean, you know, what you hear is what, you know, what's actually going on. You know, people are given nothing's edited. You know,
look at what Hanky Panky's been allowed to do in the trial. You know, Judge Cannoni is just letting Hanky Panky take these clips from the various
documentaries and
documentaries.
Yeah.
And she's just letting Hanky Panky clip a little piece, just like the news does.
Mm-hmm.
And in between witnesses, he gets to just drop it in.
Yep.
And it's not even in context.
Yep.
And it's not even like the full 1 or 2 minutes that Karen might have been explaining in detail something.
Mm-hmm.
What he's able to do is just narrowly edit it, just like the news does when you give an interview.
Yep.
Right.
You know, you might, if you heard the whole interview, you get what the person's saying, but there might have been that one sentence you said that fits their narrative, not yours. And that's the one sentence they'll show, not the rest of what you said.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, Hank could be getting looks like this.
Yeah. Look.
Yeah.
Oh. Look at her. She's right next to
He was
him.
like, yeah, I'm about that, Hank. I don't know.
It's
Yeah.
pretty funny. One of the
great.
first
You have this on there, like, yeah.
one of the first protests we did in front of Morrissey's office, and at Channel 10, I think it was, that was giving us some good, you know, interviews. And even those, I'm like, they'll never make the news, you know. And I forget which reporter
Yeah.
it was, and they're like, "Oh, why are you here?" I go, "Well," and I'm like turning and pointing at the building. I go, "This is DA Michael Morrissey's office, and his corrupt state troopers are terrorizing the countryside." And I'm like, "God, this will never make the news." And they showed it.
Yeah.
And you fast forward to the
Kristen Galvin.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And you fast forward to the trial, and the first day I get invited into trial 1. So you meet in that downstairs empty courtroom with Karen and her
Yeah.
defense team and family. And Karen Reed comes up to me and she goes, "I'll never forget when you said DA Morrissey's troopers are terrorizing the countryside." Like, oh, really? You remember that? Kick out.
Oh, you got the guy that said that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's
But that's the
fantastic.
first thing she said to me. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that's weird. You saw that on the news? I'm surprised it made the news, and I guess it was
Yeah.
memorable because she remembered it. That was funny.
That's freaking funny. No shit.
Real quick, I just want to shout out to Cheryl. She just gave us $10 for gas.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you, Cheryl. She's the best.
See, it's like every other week we get gas money, we get beer money.
Beer money, yeah.
Either way, they both appreciate it.
Yeah,
so.
thank you, Cheryl.
And that was the most amazing thing, right? For all of us, Karen Reed, boots on the ground, especially the OGs. And I wasn't the first one out there. I was down there on the regular since July of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I was there the day we were all up on the stairs.
Yeah, that was a
And
great
then
day.
you fast forward into like the winter. We're still pre-trial 1.
Yeah.
And we had good crowds out there. And there was one day I kind of went around the corner of the building because Karen was pulling up in the back.
Yep.
And I just found myself kind of like alone in between before she turned the corner to go to the front of the courthouse.
Yeah.
And I just said, "Hi, Karen." And she looked at me and goes, "Hi, Scott." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Look,
I know. It's so
how
weird.
the hell does she know my name?"
Yeah.
She knows everybody's name.
Yep.
It's crazy. And so do
I'll
our
never
parents.
forget that day. It was like, how the
Yeah.
hell does she even know who I am?
It's great.
But maybe, you know, because we're out there, so sometimes the, you know, mainstream media interviewed us, or maybe, you know, when Tom was covering it live, and she watched that stuff. She ended up
Mhm.
knowing like who everybody was. Her knowledge base of everybody that's involved is just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, she's really smart. I can't remember names at all, but she's got everybody's name. It's great.
You know, I was filming a couple mornings for this channel. You know, Karen's driving.
Mm-hmm.
She's driving by. I don't know what day it was. And I went way down to the end, so I was able to talk to her before she got in front of the huge crowd.
Yeah.
And she rolls down the window. "Hi, Karen. Hi, Scott." She goes, "Oh, how you doing? How's your head?"
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And I was like,
shit,
how does she know that?
Wow.
It'd feel like saying, "Hey, Karen, you get your own problems. So don't
Yeah,
worry about
right.
me."
I know, but
Don't
that's
worry
the
about me.
thing. Like today, when I saw them yesterday, I was like, I saw the her parents, and I was like, "How are you guys? How is she? Oh, good. How are you?" You know, I was like, "No,
Yeah.
you." You're
And
the
then you
one
see her
that's
get,
going.
father down. Dennis is coming up to her, giving her a hug.
Yeah.
People are giving her gifts.
Yep.
Yep.
I know she appreciates it.
She
That's what I was
definitely
trying to
does.
say. Some of the newcomers that are coming to the trial for the first time and they're getting there late and there's no way they can get to see Karen. I go, you got to come in the mornings when she's
Yeah.
driving by. That's when you're
Yeah.
going to get a good
And hope for a red
feel
light.
for what we're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
Yep. Head for a backup at the intersection
Mhm.
so she can hang out for a little bit.
Exactly. So I wanted to bring this up, Scott, because you and I talked about this one day out on the back of your truck. Actually, we were leaning out there in the buffer zone. We talked about the people that say this movement doesn't care about Officer John O'Keefe, and we had a pretty extensive conversation about that. You and I, and it was, I think about that all the time because people have asked me that too many times, and it pisses me off. It's like, do you really truly think I don't care about justice for Officer John O'Keefe? It's exactly why I'm here, but it only begins with freeing Karen Reed, and that's it. And that's what they don't understand. They're like, oh, you don't give a shit. It's like, no, we do.
That's why we're out here.
Yeah.
That's why we get.
Why do you think DA Morrissey's office is like Ahab chasing Noah the whale, no matter what?
Yeah.
Because if Karen Reed's acquitted, we're all going to be left here, the world, the country. So what really happened to John?
Yeah.
But if they could somehow manage to convict Karen of something, way in the beginning, they wanted her to just plead out.
Right.
Just plead out 2.5 years. OUI manslaughter. It's a deal for you, Karen, and all our problems go away.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nobody ever looks into Brian Albert's home. Nobody looks into the McAlberts. Nobody looks into the cover-up that the local and state police were involved in. All their troubles go away. Look at Michael Proctor's FBI procured texts
Yeah.
when he's saying, I wish he killed himself.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
then they could say, oh, the guilty murderer killed herself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how vile and evil these people are. They want to
it's
cover
not-
their own
Yeah,
mistakes.
It's not the first time they've done shady shit like this too. I mean, it's nothing proven, but they seem like this is just what they do. They've been getting away with so much for so many years under everybody's
I do like a metaphor, like D.A. Morrissey's just like this mad captain that will stop at nothing to save his ship, but he's gonna sink his ship, and there's people jumping off it. Like he can't even find an ADA in his own office to prosecute trial 2.
Yeah.
And he has to hire a mob lawyer to do it for him.
Yep.
Because he's just hell-bent on, if we can convict Karen Reed of jaywalking, at least we can say Karen Reed did something.
Yeah.
And look the other way. Don't look at my corruption. Don't look at the cover-up. Don't look at the possible, actual, true third-party suspects that might have offed John O'Keefe.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even if Karen Reed is acquitted this time, and we all hope and pray she should, will the media further pursue it? Or will they just forever say, oh, the guilty person got off because she had fancy lawyers and vote for DA Morrissey next time. Everything's fine with your government. Everything's good. We just had a couple screw ups like Proctor that messed this case up. We had the real guilty party on the hook, but we messed up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But that deep in the Free Karen Reed movement or been following this case, we know that's not the case at all. So you go back to D.A. Morrissey's hostage tape.
Yeah.
When he's saying, oh, there's no way that these Alberts and McCabe's and the Canton Police and the Canton EMS and his own men, Norfolk County District Attorney Office, State Police Detective Groups, which used to be called CPAC, but they changed it.
Yep.
He's trying to gaslight the public In other words, there's no way that this grand conspiracy could exist. Therefore, dumb it down, public. We pointed the finger at Karen Reed. She did it. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
But that's why we
And
have
you,
to
and you
continue
still
to
have
get out
people
there.
driving by. Oh, why are you supporting a cop killer? And they're listening to the music, and they maybe watch the 6 o'clock news on Channel 5,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just oblivious to what's going on in front of their own eyes.
Yeah.
They live their own lives. They don't get involved in their government. They don't vote. Well, they might vote, but they vote a certain way, and they think everything's fine as long as I vote blue, no matter who, everything's going to be good. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I mean, where is Meatball now? You know, I haven't heard a peep from that guy, or maybe I
He's been
missed
in
it.
hiding a long time. Normally, it is a major incident. You know, he'd have a microphone stand with like 30 microphones, and you can't wait to take the mic. And we're doing a great job in this state, and we're good. You know, I haven't seen much of him. He's kind of keeping a low profile.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's under a lot of heat.
He's just waiting for the good weather to break so he can go out on his boat.
Yeah.
Tough life.
It's frustrating for me to watch because if you go back to how I got involved in this whole thing, you know, when Aiden's story first broke and I saw the way the police handled this, right away I'm like, oh, there's no freaking way. This is a cover up all day long.
Yeah.
I believed it right away, what was going on. A lot of other people didn't see it that way right away. But I think if we fast forward to where we are today, not that I'm like I'm a I told you so type of person, but I think a lot of people are more thinking the way I was thinking back then. They just, their eyes have been opened to where I was back then.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I initially had my reservation. Well, not even reservations. Like the narrative was this woman hit her boyfriend with a car, and that was it. And I was like, okay,
It was
well,
an accident.
an accident
Yeah.
should happen, whatever. And then when you find out what was potential, what Aiden broke with the story, it was just like, okay, wait a minute, there's definitely something to see here.
Mm-hmm.
And and
Well,
here
I mean,
are.
we all believe the neatly packaged mainstream media propaganda. The
Absolutely.
first thing we saw on the news was BZ4 or whatever channel that was filming the mop-up crew after they dug out the snow
Yeah.
late in that evening. So you're looking at the video they're showing. You see 18, 20 inches of snow. You know, girlfriend accidentally runs down boyfriend. So if you're watching the news, you're thinking, "Oh God, this is a horrible accident."
Right.
She hit him, and it snowed out all night. He was buried in the snow, like they had to undig him.
Yeah.
And we learned in trial 1, and now especially in trial 2, the amount of snowfall lie has been exposed. I call it the snow job.
Yeah.
They wanted the public to think that Officer John O'Keefe's body was like buried in the snow. That's why all these people leaving the party didn't see him, and we know that's not true.
Right.
And then DA Morrissey has connections with the mainstream media, and they put out the false news that there was ring footage showing the actual accident, say from Kelleher's house across the street. Fake news
Right.
propaganda. The public
Yep.
sees the 6 o'clock news that night. They see the visuals. They see a ton of snow on the yard. They forthcoming this video of this. So most people walked away from it saying, "Oh yeah, she's dead to rights, guilty."
Right. Yep.
You know,
Yeah, exactly.
that's how powerful the news is. The way they can twist things, the
Mm-hmm.
way they can narrate, the way they can edit, and especially if they're on the take for the government propaganda, they can make you sit there and watch the news and get gaslit to their narratives. Unless somebody's willing to look past that and investigate it, fact check it, look for receipts, and that's what somebody like Turtle Boy does. The mainstream media doesn't do that anymore. You used to have true investigative reporters that would dig into, government corruption, dig into, all that type of scandal and cover up. And it seems now that the corporate controlled mainstream media just is a parrot for the government. And that's why I think, Turtle Boy, love him or hate him, all these YouTube channels. I see more and more people in the comments on YouTube channels I'm in or whatever. They don't even watch mainstream media anymore. They just don't believe it.
Yep.
They feel they get better news from X or, Facebook pages or YouTube shows, because if they watch, I can't watch local news. I can't stand it.
Yeah, we don't
No, I don't
either.
either, yeah.
Yeah.
I sit there and watch it, and I just look at it with a very critical, pessimistic, oh, really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But actually, whatever you're telling me is probably wrong. I got to go online and check it. Like, I
Mhm.
don't trust any news at all.
Yep.
I don't care if it's conservative outlets, liberal outlets, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I consider myself more conservative, politically wise, and I think Fox News is garbage too. So,
Yeah. Sure.
you know what I mean?
Yep.
No, I don't even watch the mainstream media, the news for the weather.
Yeah.
They even get that
Seriously.
shit wrong. Like, for the love of God,
Yeah, but
somebody
you
gets
can
something
go
right.
online and get your weather. You don't need to
Right,
watch the
exactly.
news.
Yeah, that's it. I won't watch
They're
it
usually
anymore.
wrong.
Real quick, Cheryl with an S, thank you. She sent $10 for gas as well.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl. With an S. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome. Sorry to interrupt.
No. Let me ask this, Scott. So you're outside all the time, outside the courthouse. There's a lot of chaos, a lot of commotion going on. Are you able to watch? I mean, I know you kind of glued to your phone and that type of thing. We try to be anyway, but do you get to watch a lot of the trial, or do you kind of watch it after the fact or catch up on it?
No,
What's your position?
we're watching it live down there, or
Yeah.
Brandy or Ross will come down and set up a TV, or I'm watching it on my phone with a speaker. We're watching the trial live down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually like watching it live on the Glare because I'm more entertained. It's channel.
Yeah.
But because he's been traveling up here, I haven't been watching the Glare.
Yep.
I watch it on this channel, or I watch it, Justice Served. I was watching it on there today. Linda was commentating.
Yeah.
But everybody has their own taste. Some
Oh,
people
yeah.
like Melanie Little. Some people just want the raw feed of the court without any commentary.
Yep.
But yeah, when we're boots on the ground down there, we're watching it live. We're not missing something.
No, I know when I get down there and I try to watch, I get very distracted. There's like just too much going on. I feel like I'm pulled in a million different directions.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I
We
try
never
to,
sit and stay in one spot to
Yeah.
listen. But
So we're not really missing the trial live. And when you're boots on the ground down there, you get to hear and see and talk to people and get a lot of word on the street info that you're not going to get if you're not down there.
so what do you think?
That's the benefit of being down there.
Who do you think at this point, as far as witnesses goes, has been the most damning for the prosecution? I mean, they got a couple. I mean,
Yuri Buchanan, he got destroyed for 3 days.
yeah, he did.
This last expert there was
Yeah.
faking his college resume.
yeah, this guy,
Unless he
he's
destroyed
over.
him too.
He's
Unless,
over.
unless you've been tearing him apart. They got a doctor from that company that's next, I guess.
Oh, really?
I forget his name. Acker destroyed Morrissey's case so badly in trial 1 that they've come up with their own like anti-Acker people. And this first guy to take the stand, he's been getting killed for 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, the aperture guy.
And there's supposedly a couple other experts that are supposed to, the state's case, I think this time is a lot worse, even though Brennan's better than Lally. And Brennan's kind of abbreviated the state's prosecution case, limited the witnesses. He's purposely limiting witnesses, in fact.
Yeah.
Obviously, he doesn't want to call Proctor. He doesn't want to call Higgins. He doesn't want to call half the McAlberts, if any. He
Yep.
called Jen up there because she's the I hit him.
Yeah,
Which,
right.
but I mean, he's trying to keep all that out, and then he's laying the foundation for the chip on, chip off guy dude here, and then Buchanan. He was using Buchanan as a vehicle to get to the Proctor texts, to get to the Higgins texts, because Higgins and Proctor will never be called by the prosecution again. The defense is going to have to call them.
Right.
And then you have the situation where if you call them as your witness, you can't just run out there and impeach them and bang them over the head.
Yep.
Judge Cannoni has to declare them hostile witnesses. And Bev, being as biased as she is, might not call them, hostile witnesses. So now that's going to make it difficult for Karen Reed's defense team to navigate that.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to get Proctor on the stand. They're going to get Higgins on the stand. There's still tons more of FBI procured texts that are damning to the prosecution.
Yep.
And Acker is just going to be that, wooden stake into Dracula, I think. I think in this, with the word, I haven't been into trial this time around yet to see the jury, but everyone that's been in there is saying the jury's a lot younger. Some of them are literally rolling their eyes at some of this prosecution.
Wow.
I mean, not that you want to predict anything, but I think the jury probably is finding Brennan not likable. Brennan's going backwards on recross, trying to fix his witnesses that have been impeached by like Leslie or Jackson.
Yeah.
I don't think the state's case is going well at all compared to trial one. And
No.
we have yet to see the defense is going to call way more witnesses than
Yeah.
trial one. There's a lot more to come, and if the defense does rest next Tuesday or Wednesday, and now it's the defense's turn to be on offense with all their witnesses. If you were keeping score, if this was a football game, I already think Brennan's losing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and we're
yeah,
about to get the ball back. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Balls in our court.
Yeah. What's the thing? Like Lally's up there now, and he gets a couple of witnesses in front of him. He's trying to be like, you see his demeanor is so different because he's trying to like prove himself that I'm really not adult. It's like, dude, seriously, you kill him. He's speaking louder, and he's like, oh yes, and so it's not what if anything like
Yeah.
every single
He's been
sentence.
coached too.
Oh,
They
yeah.
really coached him up. So
I
He's actually a very
honestly
different guy.
sometimes I see Lally put out there just to say, hey, we have to have him like do a couple witnesses
Do
just to
something
justify his
stupid,
pay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Give him this job.
Yeah. Right. You carry the lunch
It's
bag
not just
inside.
sharpening pencils for Hanky.
Yeah. Yep.
He's
Everyone's
actually,
pencils are sharpened.
Direct examining a few witnesses anyways, just
Yeah.
to justify your paycheck.
Yeah. Oh, unbelievable, right?
I'm sure it's a huge paycheck too. So
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I don't know. I think that, with the last trial, I thought that the defense did a great job. I mean, there were certain things that were questionable, maybe that people came back and said, oh, they should ask this, they should ask that. But, I had the utmost confidence, as I do now, in this defense team. They're absolutely amazing. Having a Leslie on board is just, the icing on the cake. But I think that, again, I thought the jury would have saw right through everything last time and we would have been
Yeah.
all set. So it's still,
scary.
it's still like, yeah, what's the jury seeing? How are they taking this? Because, if they are rolling their eyes up there and they're just kind of like, they seem like they're engaged. I know at the beginning of last trial, we had so many different instances where jurors were dismissed for certain things and, a bunch of different drama things happen outside with the jury. But, this time around, it's been the same people there. So,
Well, I think the defense took a lot of advice and also second guessed themselves from trial one. I mean, if you remember in trial one, Nette started his opening, Karen Reed's been framed.
yep.
You know what I mean? And we're going to prove it to you. This time around, they're doing it different.
Yeah.
They're basically saying, look, this is all about reasonable doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Can the state prove to you, juror, that Karen Reed is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt? So they have a
Right.
whole different way of attacking this time.
Yeah.
I think, if you were going to criticize Karen Reed's defense team at all in trial one, they were going for a goal too high.
Yeah.
And I think that might have even confused some of the jurors in trial
Yeah.
one, because it ends up being where the juror is sitting there, whether or not the defense proved that she was framed, not
Yeah.
did the state prove that she was guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think this time they're just tearing holes through the state's case without really going there too hard with the third party culprit, and
Mm-hmm.
Karen Reed was framed. As
Right.
much as we all know she was,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Well, it's like, again,
It's too hard to get a jury to believe all that. All you need the jury to do is, when they're in that deliberation room and it's crunch time, can you beyond a reasonable doubt convict her of murder too? Nope. And the first jury said the same thing. Nope.
right.
Charge 2, vehicular manslaughter, OUI, blah, blah, blah. 6 or 8 of them weren't really buying the she was framed thing, or for whatever reason. Yeah, I guess maybe she hit him. You know what I mean? And then if she accidentally hit him, that means she didn't purposely leave the scene. So count 3, leaving the scene. Well, if she hit him by accident, she didn't know she was leaving the scene. So they found her
Right.
not guilty of that.
Yeah.
But so this time, even though Judge purposeful ignorance of Rule 17, where she was supposed to poll the jury on counts 1, 2, and 3, and she didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she could have said, "Hey, well, what about count 1? What did you? Were you? Oh yeah, we were 12-0, not guilty, Your Honor. Okay, good. I can enter that into the record.
Right.
That charge is off the books. That's what Bev should have done, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Count 2 were hung, Your Honor. Count 3, we were 12-0, not guilty.
Right.
What should have happened at the end of trial 1, even though it was hung, the only thing that should be going into trial 2 was count 2.
Correct. Absolutely.
But Bev made sure that D.A. Morrissey kept all 3 to bring into the second trial,
Yeah.
which I call biased, which I call dirty, which I call corrupt.
Yeah.
So, Morrissey goes into trial 2 with all 3 still on the table, which shouldn't have never happened.
Yep.
And obviously the defense fought that. They went to the Mass Supreme Court, they went to the feds,
Yeah.
and it all ended up not panning out. But anyways, I think this time around, even though charge 1 and 3 still on the table, the defense is fighting this case as if only count 2 is on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So now the jury has to decide, did she hit him even by accident or drunkenly by accident? Is she guilty beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
I think even the defense is thinking there's no jury in this world that's ever going to believe murder 2, that she purposely ran down John
Exactly.
in front of 2 cops' houses.
Yeah.
So
Right.
she could have just brought him home and poisoned him. You know what I mean? Like,
Right, yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
one cop's house full with like 11 or 13 party guests, including occupants. You'd have to be the dumbest murderer in the world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even if you're mad at your boyfriend from Aruba,
Yeah.
you're not going to decide, I'll kill him right here in front of 2 cops' houses.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
And who calls and leaves all those messages that, I hate you. Who does
Yeah.
that after they murder somebody? Nobody.
And,
Nobody.
and even if you were to find guilty on count 2, where she accidentally ran him over, count 3's out the window because she didn't know she hit him, so she didn't leave the scene on purpose. Well, that counts out. And that's basically what the first jury did. But not 12 of them would even find her guilty on count 2. So I think even though all 3 counts are on the table for this trial, the defense is just aiming at count 2. We have to get this jury to all 12 say, no way, she was not proven beyond a reasonable doubt of count 2. And I think that's been their strategy this whole trial this time around.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think they're just going after their credibility and that's it.
Yeah, this is all about reasonable doubt. Can this jury believe the witnesses before them? Buchanan's been eviscerated.
Yeah.
This guy's been eviscerated that they've been working on for 2 days.
Yeah.
And then once the defense's case comes up, there's going to be more witnesses. There's going to be ACA. You know, so what the defense is working for is when that jury ends up in deliberations, there's going to be 12 of them that are going to say, yeah, there's no way, not even on count 2, that the state proved their case beyond a reasonable doubt. She's not guilty. And
Yeah.
she walks out that courthouse door that day cleared.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yep.
I can't wait for that day.
But then, you know, the pessimists are like, oh, is there another planted juror?
Yeah, you can't help but think
Is
that though.
standing on the bus?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we're so fed up with the corruption in this case and the bias and DA Morrissey that we all can't help but think, you know, something evil is still afoot, you
Mhm.
know? But we hope, you know, the process is more clean this time and the defense's different strategy this time of defending this case works. And this jury and the jurors just get it. Like, no, you did not prove to me beyond a reasonable doubt that this woman committed any of these counts. She's not guilty.
Right.
That's how a juror is supposed to think. A
Right.
jury is supposed to go into a trial pessimistic of their government.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're sitting in that jury box, Karen Reed is on the defense table as one of your peers. So as a juror, you're supposed to look at the government pessimistically. Like you're sitting there with a mindset like, okay, government, prove to me that my peer, Karen Reed, did this beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
If you can't, I'm gonna find her not guilty.
Yeah.
That's what I think a juror is supposed to think.
Yeah.
No, I
Then that's
agree with
their
that.
one job. Yeah. That's exactly. It's
But
exactly.
unfortunately, the way they do jury selection, if you answer that questionnaire a little too strong, do you not trust your government? You get tossed. You know what I mean? Or do you know somebody that's been incarcerated or whatever? I think the problem with modern jury selection is you end up with a jury pool or 18 jurors, including potential alternates. You end up with a jury that isn't exactly a random sample of your community, not a sample of your peers.
Yep.
Because jury selection's been crafted over decades through appeals and everything else. That the way they form a jury nowadays is you boil it down to a certain segment of the population that isn't necessarily your neighbor, isn't necessarily somebody that thinks like you.
Right.
But and the bottom line is when they created the civilian jury system, when our founding fathers, you know, we broke away from England and the way they ran the courts, they purposely made sure we're going to have a jury system of the public in the courts to prevent corruption,
Right.
to prevent wrongful convictions. You know, a civilian jury hearing a case being brought by the state and defended by the defendant's lawyers, the civilian jury is supposed to be a pessimist of the government.
Mm-hmm.
Karen Reed's supposed to be your peer.
Right.
And you're not going to find her guilty of anything unless the state can prove it to you beyond a reasonable doubt.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I believe the jury system, the civilian jury system, was meant to be. It's actually a counterforce to corrupt government, corrupt courts. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of jurors go into a jury box. They don't want to be there. Oh, look at her. You know, look at she must have did it. You know what I mean? They're not even thinking They're not even thinking like, oh, wait a minute. Don't trust everything the police are saying. Don't take it all with a grain of salt. Look at it very highly critical.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And that's what you hope a juror does, like no matter, how much, Brennan makes it sound, salacious. And even in trial one, when, Lally was bringing up Aruba and, trying to make drama out of it and trying to get the jurors to hate the defendant.
Yeah.
A juror has to look past all those manipulations and smoke and mirrors and just boil it down. Did you prove this woman did it to me beyond a reasonable doubt? Even if I don't like her, even if I don't look the way she's acting, even with Brennan showing these clips from these various documentaries and news interviews that I think she shouldn't have never done. I'm on attorney Mark Betterell's page on that one, but she did them too late.
Yeah.
And then you got a biased judge like Beverly Cannoni's just letting them drop in the clips because Brendan's trying to create the drama, trying to win over the jury to hate Karen Reed. She must have did it, and it clouds their minds. They're not thinking. Get away from that drama stuff. Get to the nuts and bolts. Did the state prove that you did this beyond a reasonable doubt? And that's how they're supposed to, cast their verdicts, and that's how you hope they do.
But you watch all the trials that, that are on day in and day out, and the way the courtroom works and the way that the prosecution and the defense go back and forth, it's so different than this case. What I see, like watching, I've never been a trial guy up until this. Now I watch whatever I can. Certain things interest me more than others, but the way the defense and the prosecution go back and forth, and even the judge being involved in, kind of mediating the whole thing, it makes sense to me. This case, though, this courtroom with her being in charge makes no freaking sense to me. The way she just allows things to go for the prosecution, shuts down the defense, and there's no, the narrative is just she controls everything. It's terrible.
I don't know how many people that went into this trial, even trial one, even into trial two, that were trying to give Beverly Cannoni the benefit of that. Not that biased.
Yeah.
And now a lot of people are just straight out saying she's biased. She's no good.
Clearly. Exactly.
Melanie Little. I mean, some major people. But she doesn't seem to really care.
Nope.
When she's really pushed, where she could get herself in trouble, she kind of lightens up a little bit. But pretty much, she's pro-defense in my eyes, my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's everyone's opinion. It's so clear as day. Unfortunately.
I mean, I get it. The judge is supposed to be the neutral arbiter of a case like this, and every side's going to play it hard as they can. What I mean? It's like being a ref. She's supposed to say, "Oh, that's a little too far,"
Yeah.
on both sides. But she seems to let the prosecution get away with everything. But we're looking through it in our own biased point of view.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe Bev isn't as bad as we look at it, but she's too bad.
But if you watch other trials, which we all have, I've never seen anything like this. That's not how other courtrooms work.
Yep.
Even in this state,
Well, I mean, there's some other famous trials. I'm not really a true crime guy. I watch some trials, but you hear about, that isn't anything like this judge. Did you hear about this judge in this case? How biased they were. So that isn't the only one in the country or major trials that people have watched.
Yeah.
Again, though, I don't know her history either. I mean, maybe every other trial she's been,
Well, her last trial, she was the Chesma trial, the Emmanuel Wilkes.
Right. That was horrible. That was a mistrial too.
She was the other way. She was very pro-defendant.
Yeah.
Very anti-prosecution. She wouldn't let the Chesna family cry in open court.
Yeah. What kind of? That's
she bent over backwards to. She was very biased pro-defense, but that just shows me that's a bad judge. A judge is supposed to be, the levels of justice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Find Lady Justice has a blindfold over her face
Yeah.
and the level of justice,
Yep.
she's not supposed to show bias either way.
Right.
And the problem with Bev is sometimes she's very biased pro-defendant because her hobby is like liberal activist judge. If you watch the Chestnut trials, it took 2 of them. The first one ended up in a mistrial.
Mm-hmm.
Bev is very like biased toward the defense. She busts the
Yeah.
jury in from another county to make sure Emmanuel Lopes got a fair trial. And then you see Beverly Cannoni in the Karen Reed, John O'Keefe case, and she's the other way. She's
Yeah.
Yeah.
pro prosecution and screw the defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like a good judge would be like in the middle no matter what the case is, and she's not. So when I say she's a bad judge, I'm not just going on the Karen Reed case. I'm
Yeah. Yep.
going on other cases. And I mean, Bev became a public defender in 1985. She was a public defender for like 24 years. I remember her as a public defender in the 90s in Quincy. Because I used to, bring guys to court, bring guys to
Yeah.
trial. I sat through a lot of trials, so I got to see Bev in action back in those days.
Really.
And then 24 years as a public defender, and then through her political connections through Quincy and Michael Morrissey when he was a state senator in the state house, his political connections in the Democratic Party that run Massachusetts got Bev nominated for judgeship in 2007. She was confirmed to the district bench in 2008 by former Governor Deval Patrick.
Oh, that's
And
right.
then-
Yeah.
And then Deval Patrick won a second term. And in 2014, Bev was promoted to the Superior Court bench. Both district and Superior Court judge appointments are lifetime.
Oh, they real. Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Shit. Jesus.
So if you look at Bev's history and genesis, she owes a lot to Michael Morrissey.
Yeah.
So when she refused to recuse herself in August of 2023, again, I'm the madman McInnes out there with my tinfoil hat on.
Yeah.
And I'm telling all the other 3 Karen Reed people, I go, we're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bev's going to be the judge. She's going to do everything in Morrissey's favor because she owes Morrissey everything. We're going to have an uphill fight. And she ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
And I don't think I look as crazy as I did back then when I was saying that.
You toned it down a little.
Hey, you know your shit, Scott. I give you credit, man.
I know that's a lot of info on Auntie Bev. Thank you.
So what do you think?
I remember bringing guys to court, and Bev was their public defender, and they were complaining like, I have Cannoni as my attorney. And yeah, no kidding. You're in state prison.
Yeah.
Didn't go so.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Mhm.
So what do you think, Scott? Any closing words? We'll wrap it up and give you back the rest of your evening. So
Yeah, Colonel Boy's on at 9. So
Yeah, I mean, I think this trial's going better than the first trial, and we haven't even seen the defense on offense yet.
Mhm.
I think the defense is going to call a lot more witnesses. I'm very optimistic. Have to be, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
And I think there's going to be some in the next week or two. I think there has to be some modifications to this buffer zone BS. It's either going to be the judge that heard the 12 o'clock today
Yep.
that I'm Superior, or I think the federal courts are going to do something. I don't see how this buffer zone can stay the way it is. Something's got to change.
yeah.
Yeah. it's
And
gonna,
meanwhile, we ain't got no quit. We're all down there every day. We're just gonna
Yeah.
keep doing what we can do. What else can we do?
Yeah.
no, again, we got a great team down there helping out too, and with the rest of the boots, and we appreciate everything that you do and everything that you've done. The whole, I mean, Jesus, man, it's been a long road, and
Yeah.
it's funny because you meet a lot like yourself. We've known each other for a long period, good period of time, but like we don't know each other. It's like, hey Scott, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Whatever. But I think more recently it's been
More personal.
yeah,
Yeah. Everyone's getting to know each other
That's
a
good.
little bit better. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, we've all been in the same fight together for,
Yep.
2 years now, pretty much.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like a extended family. You end up wanting to strangle somebody, and then you want to hug somebody. You know what I mean?
It's so true.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so
It
true.
kind of works, I guess, overall.
I think it does. I think
Free
it
Karen
totally
Reed's
does.
still out there, so.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we're doing it. Justice is coming, man.
It is.
Well, all right, bud. We'll let you scoot. We'll see you down there in the morning or something. You going on the thing tomorrow?
Yeah. Duck
You
boats.
coming with? Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Okay,
gonna go to the court in the morning, and then we're
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
to
Yeah, we'll see you
the
there.
All right.
duck boat ride at 1. Hopefully, it's not the SS Minnow on a 3-hour tour.
I know. That's it, yeah.
Dressed
Yeah.
up.
The weather started getting rough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Real
I think it's
layers.
gonna be cold. Hopefully, they still have the plastic windows on that thing.
I heard they do.
Oh,
I
yeah.
heard they do. So we'll see. We'll see when we
figure
get
it
there.
all out.
I'm gonna be dressed up like it's snowing out because I
Me
have a
too.
feeling.
Yeah.
Covered head to toe.
It's like an hour and 15
Well, especially
minutes.
you, Tracy. Every time I see you, you look like you're cold.
I'm always
She's
cold.
got a heater
I
going
have a
under
space
here.
heater right under me. I'm always cold. Yeah. So I
Hand
have to-
warmers and gloves on that thing.
Yeah.
It's the worst. It's the worst. I hate being cold. It's the worst thing in the world. But anyway.
All right.
All right,
bud.
Scotty,
Thanks
thank
for being
you.
on.
All right, bye.
Appreciate it.
All right,
Bye,
we'll see you
everybody.
tomorrow.
Bud.
Bye,
Yeah,
Scott.
we'll see you. Bye.
Bye. Scotty's awesome. He's got
That
so
was
much
awesome.
information.
He does.
And he knows every single detail about this trial.
Yep.
And it's awesome. He's the man. Do you want to clear up that other thing that was
Yeah, so
mentioned
somebody
earlier?
posted in here, and maybe I should have vetted this out a little bit more. I got a little excited because I really like the
It's okay to get excited.
design and whatnot.
Yeah.
But looks like Laura M is actually selling those patches and donating the money, and it wasn't Donna, so I just kind of went off the wrong person. So we'll make that correction. And,
Yeah, so check out Laura M.
yeah, I don't know which Laura M, but somebody in the chat had posted. So Tricia, if you're still here, you can clarify who Laura M actually is. But if not, we'll get the information, everybody, because those things kick ass. I definitely would like to get one.
Yeah. Huh, Cheryl? It was cold. The sun was out, but that wind, and it was like going like up my sweatshirt. Like it was very cold. Sorry. Yeah. So anyway, do you have anything else you want to go over or discuss? I think we're about done. But again, I just want to say that there's no rule book for what we're doing. This is something that we've never done before. And a lot of things that are happening down at the courthouse are like, unprecedented. They don't even know what to do. So we all just have to keep doing what we're doing, and stand up for what you believe in. And, we'll see what happens with Erica and how far that actually goes. And we'll hear from Mark, I'm sure, about, anything. It was funny. I was like Mark's secretary yesterday. I even had to find him a phone charger. So I was like, oh my God. But I got to go in the courthouse and like hang out with him. It's funny.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm sure he'll give us updates as well.
But this is the only thing that, this is why we're here, right?
Yeah.
This is why we're here. This is why we do this every week. This is why people stand out every single day. It's for justice for the victims. And, let's not forget why we're here and what we stand for. And Dennis, I think you'd be in bed by now. What the hell's going on?
Go to bed.
Dennis, go to bed. I'm going to go have a piece of carrot cake.
I know. Your wife's carrot cake.
I know, I'm telling you. There's so long left. I had a piece last night. I'm going for another one.
Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. I'm really proud of the unity, and I think everybody's on the same page at this point right now. So yeah, we'll just continue doing what we're doing and just soldier on.
Robin G riding through the Glen blaming me. Thanks, Robin G.
All right. So what else? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. I just want to make sure that we, again, don't forget why we're here. We're here for, not just the 4, 5 people. We're here for us. We're here for ourselves. We're here for our children, our families,
Mhm.
and for the future. I mean, things have to change because they're only getting worse. And if we don't do anything and speak up, they're going to get worse. And it's just not something I can live and leave into the next generation.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Victoria on. She was one of the youngest people in the movement, and we saw her the other day with a friend of hers that was now involved. So, again, it's happening. What is this guy doing still awake?
He's so excited to see me tomorrow. He can't
Yeah.
sleep. Can't tell him.
This freaking asshole.
Huh.
Looking forward to it, bud. It'll be good times. But yeah, so that's all I got. You got anything else? You good?
I don't.
You got any more things that came through? Anything you gotta make mention?
I have so much to make mention. I want to give a little. No, I won't do that.
All
No one
right.
will get it.
All right. Then.
But yeah, I just want to stress that I don't know. I just love what this has morphed into. I love that, people I love that this channel is our channel. It's everybody's channel. And I just can't thank everybody enough for hopping on and just kind of riding the wave with us and see where it goes. So we appreciate you all. That's all I have to.
Well, fun job.
Thank you.
Outstanding. Think about it.
All right, cool. So we'll see you when we see you. I hope a lot of you guys are doing the duck boats tomorrow, but if not, we'll be at the courthouse in the morning, and we'll be leaving around noontime, I think. So,
Yeah, something about that. But yeah, we'll be there for the morning doing what we got to do, and yeah, another big day. I don't know who we got on the stand tomorrow, but let's fucking go.
let's fucking go.
All right, people.
All right.
Have a good night.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
Free Karen Reed.
Free Karen Reed.